welcome to Thursday night seminar for Travel 10.
We are here again, and I've got some tremendous announcements, a lot going on. And tonight, if you got your emails, you know that I'm going to start kind of a new series where I want to train on each section of the compensation plan. Because, you know, if you're going to be involved in this business and you're going to build it and you want to be very successful, obviously you need to know where your money comes from and what you need to do to make that happen. And so I'm going to spend some time in the next 6 weeks actually doing this. And this is something you can use too with new people that you bring into the business. You'll be able to send them back to these training sections, and we'll have it laid out in your back office for you. So if you want to understand, like tonight, we're training on the coded bonus. So you'll be able to go in, pick that one section and go look at the coded bonus. Last week, we did the VIP business program. Obviously, I know everybody's waiting for that to launch. And again, guys, I wish we could have, everything's ready to go. You've seen it. It's up on your site right now. We just haven't actually opened it for full engagement yet. We're still doing a little bit of testing. We're trying to get it launched here. I mean, it's going to be before the end of the month. It could be in the next 3 or 4 days, but as soon as it launches and goes live, we'll send out an email, let everybody know it's live. And that means the day that it goes live, you can start sending any business owner in America to the site to join the VIP business program. And again, guys, this is going to be one of the ways you're going to build your business very rapidly, very successfully, and you've got a chance to make tremendous amounts of income. And all you really got to do is share this. I mean, if you just share with any business owner, in case you weren't here last week and you didn't see the call, you might want to go in. The webinar's been posted. It's in your back office, and you can see how every business owner in America would love to have this program. He would love it. I mean, it's such a win-win for his customers, for him as a business owner, and of course, for you as a TLA. So before I begin, and again, I'm going to do a screen share here. Was there anything you want to share with everybody about your past week, baby?
No, just handing out these, just giving these away everywhere.
Yeah, she keeps it pretty simple. She really does. I always say, I'm trying to put her on these calls and make her really work and talk. And some, no, I don't like to do that. And by the way, if you haven't realized by now, we call each other mommy and poppy. I got to tell you, that was one of the hardest things for me to get used to. Obviously being from the United States and being a gringo, I always thought mommy and poppy. I mean, that's what I used to call my mom and my dad. But I guess it's definitely part of the Latin culture. I have learned to do it. As a matter of fact, I find myself never saying anything but mommy now. I try to say baby a lot, but I do have to get a little used. But I always find that was funny. I don't know why I digressed to that, but sometimes I have to share some of these funny stories, I think. So, baby, anything else you want to add before I jump in here?
No, go ahead.
We're ready to go. Okay. So, a couple quick announcements. And, yeah, again, it's one of these announcements. I want to tell you the whole story, but I can't. And it's so exciting. It's hard for me to hold it inside. But if you remember, I've been talking for the past month about some really interesting things that are going on behind the scenes. And they're getting very, very close to being totally finished and in place. Because of those things we've been working on, you remember we've made the actual name change from Travel 10 to Life Trends. Now, that hasn't happened yet on all your stuff. And what we've shared with everybody is we're going to continue saying Travel 10 until we switch everything over. It looks like it's going to happen somewhere in that 30 to 60-day range. We're going to make the switch. Again, when that happens, we'll let you know. The only thing I would suggest is don't print up thousands of business cards with Travel 10 on it. I mean, you'll still be able to use it because on the site, there'll be a place there that says formerly Travel 10, and as people get used to it. But again, don't go, investing in huge amounts of cards that say Travel 10. I think you're going to want to probably use the new Life Trend logo, and you'll understand why once this launches. So there's two things that are going on behind the scenes very quietly that I'm going to just give you just a little bit of a tease. I can't tell you that much yet, but both of them are happening. They're both very real. They are taking place. One of the things that will happen for this company going forward is we're going to end up with a tremendous social media presence. How that happens, you're going to know more once it happens. But obviously, it's one of the reasons we're making the name change to Life Trends. But you're going to find that this company is going to be seen throughout social media, and you're going to have an opportunity to really build your travel business because of what we're going to be doing there. Now, again, once we unveil it, you're going to be literally blown away. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to go, oh my gosh, I'm in the best company in the United States. And you will be. But there's a second thing that's happening simultaneous with that, which I think makes it just as big. As I mentioned, we're again behind the scenes very quietly We're in the middle of finishing a business partnership with one of the top producer director families in all of Hollywood. It's very close to being finished. And when it is, I can make the announcement, and we're going to have some products that have unbelievable name recognition. And these are products that, again, people are going to want. Everybody you share this with is going to go crazy for it. So again, we're very excited. I believe, without a doubt, and I've said this for some time, you know, we've got a great company right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just getting started. But guess what? With what we're going to be adding with these products and what we're going to be able to do through social media, before this year's out, we're going to be the talk of the industry. I promise you, we'll be the talk of the industry. So those of you that are joining right now or getting people to join, you're in a perfect place. As a matter of fact, I would be talking to everybody, get everybody involved now, because, you know, if you're ahead of this when this happens and you've got a nice little organization going right now, your organization is going to explode. Now think about it. If you wait until it happens, oh, it'll take off. But the difference is going to be the people that are building now and got nice organizations. You know, think about it. They got a base of 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, whatever they've got. When this happens, they're going to go to 10, 20, 30, 50,000 overnight. You're going to be starting from scratch, getting one, the twos, the threes. So you got a chance here, guys. You've got an amazing company right now. Take advantage of it. And again, if you look at our compensation plan, which is what I'm going to train on tonight, you know, there's 6 different ways you get paid here at Travel 10. I'm going to talk about one of them tonight, and again, another one every week until you've got the entire package, okay? So tonight, let's jump in. Let's talk about the coded bonus. And I'm very excited about this because I believe this is one of the most unique Infinity bonus programs that's ever been developed. It really rewards anybody that goes out there and builds. And the opportunity to make serious income, oh my gosh, it's there at the highest level. So give me just a minute here. I'm going to go to a screen share. And then when we get finished, I'll come right back for the close. Okay, here we are. So here at Travel 10, you have 6 ways you can get paid. And tonight, we're only talking about one of them, okay? So I'm gonna bypass all these others. Obviously, you have your residual, your monthly residual, which is tremendous because that comes from all your monthly subscriptions, and that pays you probably the largest sum of money. And that's something you get month after month, year after year. And if you build this thing properly, it's going to grow and grow. Second way you make income, of course, is through the Travel Saver card. But this is for the people that tell you no. That tell you no to the business, tell you no to the opportunity, but say, you know what? I'd love to save $1,000 on travel and hotels and resorts worldwide. They take the free card from you because they told you no. And obviously, you know how it works, guys. They go out. When they save, you get 50% of whatever they save. So if a person saves $1,000, what did you just make from handing out one card? $500. Not too bad. Retail credits, that's another way, of course, and that's just based on all your personal customers. This is the people that said no to the business, didn't want the VIP Travel Saver card, but actually just wanted the product, which a lot of people do because of the amount of savings they get, because they get a bigger savings if they use our product package versus just taking the free card. That's another way. Ranks and awards, again, this is for the big business builders. This is something that allows you to make the huge incomes, particularly as your organization starts to mature in the years ahead. This is something that really comes into play probably in year 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know, and forward. The VIP business program, you notice that's number 6 because that's the one we're not talking about tonight, and that's the one we talked about last week. So the one I'm going to talk about tonight, which is actually the 5th of six ways you get paid, is called our Fast Start Coded Infinity Bonus. That's a tongue twister. Say that fast. Fast Start Coded Infinity Bonus. I guess you can. Ladies and gentlemen, it's based on a simple concept called the game of shares. I did this in such a way that makes this really fun for everybody getting involved. And it's easy to understand. All that happens is your goal as a TLA is to get to 5 shares. That's what you want to accomplish. You want to get to the point that you're actually earning 5 shares on everybody that joins this company, because that's how you get the maximum payout. As you start to grow and build this, you'll notice that if you get to the point of saying, let's start with 2 shares there. So if you're at 2 shares and all the people you put in are 0 shares, you make $20 on all of them. You know, if you're at 3 shares and the people underneath you aren't at any level yet of accomplishment, you're making 30. 4 shares, 40, 5 shares, 50. And the qualification for this, and this is the most important thing I want everybody to understand, is how simple it is to qualify for the coded bonus. All it takes for you to qualify is to be a luxury subscriber yourself or have one personal luxury customer. That's it. If you do that, now, as other people come into your organization and do the same thing, you start earning more and more shares. So think about that. And actually, when you really want to think about how simple our qualifications are here at Travel 10, if you become a TLA, you join as a travel and lifestyle advocate, right? And you just have the luxury subscription package yourself, because obviously it can save you thousands of dollars. Why not? And if you use our restaurant.com program, you're basically, your product package is free, your business is free, so why not? But if you do that, and you just come in as a TLA and you become a luxury subscriber, you now qualify for everything. You qualify for the maximum payout and all the generational bonuses. You qualify to get all your retail credits. You qualify for the coded bonus program we're getting ready to show you right now. That's all it takes. Nothing more than that. So let's take a look at how this actually works and how you qualify, okay? So let's first talk about how you qualify for the coded bonus. And again, this whole system is very, very simple. This is showing an example of, say, you. And as you start to build your organization, and we're just kind of saying it, Bill's left to right. Bill's the first person you put in, Dan's the second, and so forth. Starting with Bill, he comes in as a luxury subscriber. Now remember, what was the one thing you need to do to qualify for the coded bonus? Be a luxury subscriber yourself. So if you notice up there and above the U, you're in yellow. That means you're a luxury subscriber, okay? So you've done the one thing you need to do. Now, as people join that you personally enroll as TLAs and they become a luxury subscriber, or if they have one customer, one personal customer as a luxury subscriber, then you start earning shares. So when Bill joins as a luxury subscriber, you start the process. Now you own one share. Dan comes in, but he comes in as a standard. That's not a luxury subscriber, right? He comes in as standard stuff, so he doesn't really count. The next person, Sue, joins. She comes in as a luxury subscriber, again, enrolled by you. Now you own 2 shares. Next person is Jeremy. He's a standard. He didn't do anything. So, he came in and is standard, so it doesn't make any difference to you. But here's what it starts to happen at this point in time. Because Sue came in as a luxury, and that's your second one. And the moment you have 2 TLAs besides yourself, they're at the luxury level, you now start qualifying for this coded bonus. That's all it takes. You, as a luxury subscriber, and 2 people you personally enroll also at the luxury level. So the way you really want to build this business is if you join, you should come in unless you just can't. And I understand that, and start at the standard, you'll work your way there. But come in at the luxury level. Because if you're at the luxury level, number 1, you're going to get huge savings on everything you do in travel and lifestyle benefits. Number 2, you're going to qualify for everything. You get 10 generations deep on your residual, and you qualify for the coded bonus. And with the program we just talked about, the restaurant, it doesn't cost you anything anyway. So why wouldn't you? I mean, unless you don't eat. If you eat, obviously it makes sense. But here's what happens. The moment Sue would come in, and she's now giving you the ability to be at 2 shares. On Sue, when she joins that luxury package, here's what happens. This is what you make financially. Number 1, you get $20 because it's somebody that you personally enrolled. If you personally enroll somebody, I mean personally now, that means you did it, nobody else, you make $20 for that. All right? Now, the second thing that happens is that since you're now earning 2 shares, you get, because every share, if you remember, look at the previous graph, every share is worth $10, right? So you got 2 shares, right? So now what'd you get from Sue when she joined? Another $20. So you basically got $40 when Sue signed up. Now Jeremy comes along. He didn't do anything, right? He just came in as standard. Fine. You're still getting residual and all the other things you make off of Jeremy, but he's not at luxury. Jeff comes in at luxury. Now you're at 3 shares. So what happens when Jeff joins? Well, from that point, what would happen is, well, you're earning 3 shares times what, $10 each share. Remember, that's all based on every share is worth $10. So you'd earn the $20 from him joining first, and then you earn another 3 shares, which would be $30. So now you just earned $50 when Jeff joined. Sam comes along and joins. That's now 4 shares. Same thing. 4 times 10 is what, 40, plus the 20. What'd you make on Sam? $60 when he joined. Okay? Now we go to Jen. Jen is your 5th share. So she comes in. What do you make in there? 5 times 10, $50 plus your 20. You're now making $70 on Jen. But here's the exciting part. From this point forward, no matter how many more people you add with, you can see the next one coming in standard. You could go, because remember, in this, you can go as wide as you want. You can put in 100 people. You can put in 1,000 people personally. Every person that comes in after that, you're going to make the 50 plus the 20. So in every person that comes in after Jen that you personally enroll, you're making $70 on them when they come in. But that's nothing, because that's just only your first generation. Now let me show you how crazy and exciting this really is. What happens when Bill and Dan and Sue and Jeff and Sam and everybody that you personally starts putting in people? Look what happens. This is a little different example illustration. But again, imagine that obviously you put in, all the people here, A, you put in B, you put in C, you put in D, you put in E, you put in F, okay? And they all came in luxury. Well, obviously, you get the maximum is 5 shares. So if they all did that, you'd be at 5 shares, right? Actually, it's 6 shares, but the most you can get is 5 shares on this coded infinity bonus. So that means now that when A put in G underneath it here, you can see, well, guess what? That $50, that doesn't go to A. That $50 goes to you, because A hasn't qualified for any shares yet. So that money bypasses A and gets paid to you. H, same thing. H is enrolled by B, but he didn't put in but one person, so that $50 goes to you. And kind of go down the line here at H. Look at all the people H put in, the next person, the next person. Well, see, until somebody starts qualifying for shares, you get it all. So every time those people enroll, you're getting the $50. Now let's go to C. Look what happens here. C, when it puts in finally 2, right? You start to see this thing start to change. So what happens is, as it starts to grow, you get $50. Now remember, the $20 only goes to the person that actually enrolled somebody. Everybody gets the $20 when they enroll somebody, okay? But you get the 50. This all comes from the actual customer package, okay? So now you get the 50 on all these people. And remember, guys, this goes to infinity. It doesn't matter how deep this goes. It can go 1,000 levels deep. It can go hundreds and hundreds of levels wide and then thousands deep. You're making this money. Start thinking about what that can do when everybody gets this and starts building. And again, this program is so inexpensive. I mean, I love a program that somebody joins, they save more money than they spend. They got a restaurant program that makes the program free, and then they got a chance to make all this income from just sharing this unbelievable thing through a simple marketing program we've got called The Gift. How easy can it be? So let's take a look at Bill here so you can see how the dynamics work and how it starts to change a little bit. I'm going to give you 3 examples. You got Bill in green. You'll see him, Bill, Jen, and Joe. Okay, so let's look at Bill. So Bill puts in his first person right there, right, underneath himself. And that $50 there, and obviously all these dollar amounts are reflected in what you get, not what Bill's making. This is what you're getting. So in this example, what would happen is Bill putting this person underneath of him, but that $50 went to you. Now Bill putting a second person underneath himself. And now, guess what? He's now got 2 shares. He's actually qualified for 2 shares. So he would actually get what? 2 shares times 10, he'd make $20. But who gets the rest? Well, there's nobody that has any shares except for you. So in this case, you would get the difference. You would get the $30. So that would go to you. All right? Now, let's keep this process going a little bit. All right? Let's go over here and let's take a look at Jen. Now, Jen is the same thing. Jen, is now put in, if you look at this, it starts with the first person she puts in, and that $50 there underneath of her goes to you because, again, she hasn't qualified for anything. Now Jen puts in her second person. And now Jen is qualified for 2 shares, and 2 from 5 leaves what? 3. So how much do you make? 3 times 10, you made $30, right? Jen puts in another person, the next person, which you see in the yellow, the 20 there. Well, now Jen is at 3 shares. What's that leave you? 2 shares times 10. That's $20 goes to you. Jen puts the next person, and it qualifies. Now it's at $10. She gets, you get $10 and she makes 40. Now look at all the people going underneath of them. They're all 10 to you. Now think about this though. Eventually you could get blocked, but you don't care because look what this has done. This has allowed massive growth in your organization. And I dare to say that if everybody in this company could be blocked by everybody else, no, it's because everybody put in 5, right? Through all these generations deep, you're going to be the happiest person in the world. Because you might not be getting any coded bonus then, but look at your residual. I mean, you're talking about money that people could just dream about making. So what this coded bonus will do, this coded infinity bonus and this fast start, it's going to drive people to build. But while they're building, you're still making unbelievable money. And remember, sometimes you never get blocked. Sometimes you'll make the $50 100 levels deep. Sometimes you won't. Whatever happens, You don't care. So let's take one more example just to see how simple it is. I think you kind of got it now. Let's go over here to Joe. So Joe gets involved, right? And he puts in his first person, and that first person, that $50 goes to you because he got no shares. Now Joe puts in the guy in blue. So now he's at 2 shares. So he makes the 2. You get the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. So what'd you make? You made $30, goes to you. He puts in the third person, same thing. You know, he now gets 3 shares. You've got 2 shares left over because, you know, he's got 3. So 2 times 10 is 20. You got $20. That's how simple it is. You're going to be able to see this in your back office. You'll be able to see as people are joining. You'll know, oh my gosh, I'm making $50 on this one. I'm making 40 on this one. I'm making 30 on this one. I'm making 20. And remember, these people could be hundreds of levels from you. Hundreds of levels. And remember, the wider you get and the deeper this gets, the more people you have are paying this kind of money. So this is a very small time graph. Imagine when your organization gets to 1,000 people. Think about this. It gets to 1,000 people. And all of a sudden, those 1,000 people each put in just 2 people. All right? Well, how many more people is that? That's another 2,000 people. Guess what? Those 2,000 people, you're going to be earning anywhere from $10 to $50 on every one. Just like that in 1 month. In 1 month. But that comes from this thing growing and exploding. That's why when everybody gets a hold of how this thing works, there's never been a fast start coded bonus like this ever. This is one I wrote myself. You know, I've written comp plans all my life. Sometimes I write them and I look back and I go, it's not so good. And other times I write them and go, wow, home run. This is one of those home runs. I looked at this thing, I analyzed, because I looked at so many fast start programs out there and what I liked and what I didn't like. And they were so heavily flawed, the way they were written, the way they were done, because eventually they all kind of blew up on you. This one does not. This rewards you for everybody you ever put in, no matter how wide, how deep, and it allows you to grow a massive organization, create unbelievable excitement, and then sit back and live on that residual, guys. So that's the fast start coded bonus. Excuse me for a second. I'm going to jump out of here with a closing statement. Yeah, fine. Where's my Well, we're back. You've seen the coded bonus now. And if you understood that, and I hope you did, maybe you need to watch it a couple times. And again, as I get better at this, because remember, this is my first time presenting it too. And I'm going to improve the graphs a little bit more and make it simpler. So I might redo it again here, but you can see how amazing this is. And if you go out and start building, and remember, the approach you should take with everybody's look. Number one, you need to be a luxury yourself. That's a smart move, because then you qualify for this coded bonus. You don't have to think about it anymore. And when you bring people in, it should be the same thing. But again, if someone says, well, I just can't really afford $50 a month, you know, I don't travel that much, and maybe I can save $100 a month by using the lifestyle, but I really can't start that way. Fine. They come under standard. Who can't join this company for $20 a month? I mean, anybody can do that and have an opportunity to save thousands and to make thousands. So that's okay, because guess what will happen? The moment the person starts succeeding and making money and growing, you know what they're going to do? They're going to upgrade to luxury anyway. So you might not have them today, but you're going to get them tomorrow. And the same for everybody else in their organization. The same thing will occur. But if you can, and again, I think everybody gets this, if you want to qualify for 10 generations and you don't even want to think about it anymore, you don't have to worry about whether I've got 1 customer, 3 customers, or 5 customers. I mean, you want customers. They're going to come as a byproduct of how good this is. You can do this by just being a luxury subscriber yourself. And then you don't have to think. It's just, you know, you've done your part and you're qualified. And if you start adding more and more customers, that just means more money for you, more money for everybody. That's what's going to happen to everybody else. People are going to have customers they didn't even think about having. But guess what? You're making money. Oh, did I tell you this? This is kind of important. What happens? Let's say, for example, you set me up in the business, right? And then I set up Elisa, okay? And Elisa, because she really is kind of product-driven person, she goes out and she hasn't qualified for any shares yet, and I haven't either. But we're not just talking about Elisa becoming a luxury subscriber. But what if she sets up 20 luxury subscribers? Who do you think makes that $50 and all that? You do. That's pretty amazing. So it's not just the TLAs that become like, it's all their customers, all their customers. And some people will one day have hundreds of customers because some of the things we're getting ready to do here, ladies and gentlemen, between now and the end of the year with social media, with the products that we're be bringing into play, with the new design, look, and feel we're going to have on the website. By the way, when we do launch Life Trends, it's a whole new look website. It changes completely. We just wanted to wait and do it all one time. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, you've got, I believe, one of the most amazing opportunities in America. You're at the foundation. Put that in perspective. You're at the foundation, and yet you're doing it with somebody like myself that's been here all my life. I know this industry inside and out. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, I'll still make mistakes, but I know what we need to do to get where we want to go. This company is just a few months old, really, but it's already up. It's operating. It's profitable. It has no debt. I've got literally millions of dollars invested behind it that you don't have to spend a penny of your own money to reap the rewards. It's all here for you, and it's now. So with that, I'm going to say good night, baby.
Good night. I hope everybody have a beautiful and blessed week.
Good night, everybody.